All right, let's solve this one using the quadratic formula. In order to solve using the quadratic formula, you first need to put it in standard form. So I need to move this 20 over to the other side. As we see, this is standard form right here. So when I do that, I have x squared minus 8x minus 20 equals 0. So now I can clearly see that the number in front of the x squared is just 1. So a is 1. The number in front of just the x is negative 8. So b is negative 8. And the number at the end, just the regular constant, the regular number is negative 20. So these are the numbers I'm going to be putting into the quadratic formula. So here's the quadratic formula at the top. So I'm just going to, again, put in, instead of a, I'm going to put 1. Instead of b, I'm going to put negative 8, and instead of c, negative 20. So here where it says negative b, instead of writing negative b, if b is negative 8, I'm going to put that negative 8 there, but a negative or a minus a negative is the same as adding. So I'm going to change that to positive. So that's really important. When you substitute in that b, if it happens to be negative, you don't want to lose either one of those negative signs. And then here, b squared. When I put this in my calculator, since b is negative, I want to make sure I put it in parentheses. Times 4 times a, so 4 times 1, times c, which is negative 20. Divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. So I've substituted it in very carefully. Now I'm going to simplify. So I'm going to do the exponents first. When I put in negative 8 squared into my calculator, I see it's positive 64 because negative 8 times negative 8 is positive. And then everything else stays the same. Now I'm going to do my multiplying, 2 times 1. And actually, I'm going to think of this as negative 4 times 1 times 20. So everything else stays the same. So I still have my 8 and my 64, but negative 4 times 1 times negative 20 is positive 80. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Now I'm going to just add what's underneath the square root, so then I can end up taking the square root, and I know that 64 plus 80 is 144. At this point, I can take the square root. The square root of 144 is 12. So this is 8 plus or minus 12 divided by 2. I can split this up into 2 equations. So 8 plus 12 divided by 2, 8 minus 12 divided by 2. So 8 plus 12 divided by 2, 8 minus 12 divided by 2. 8 plus 12 is 20. And then 20 divided by 2 is 10. Or 8 minus 12 is negative 4. And negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. And that is it. If you were to graph this quadratic equation, you would see it intersects the x-axis at 10 and at negative 2. Those are the solutions.